Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi trying to smooth things over with members of the so-called squad. First, in a tweet, Congresswoman Ilhan Omar seemed to compare the U.S. and Israel to terrorist group Hamas, as well as others, when she faced backlash. She tweeted this: freedom of speech doesn't exist for Muslim women in Congress. The benefit of the doubt doesn't exist for Muslim women in Congress. House Democratic leadership should be ashamed of its relentless, exclusive tone policing of Congresswomen of color. Her ally, AOC, jumped to her support, but her boss, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, was not amused. She demanded an explanation. Will Pelosi be able to get the squad under control? Melanie, what's going on here? I mean, she's kind of playing the ethnic background card here. So what are your thoughts here?
The squad typically plays the ethnic background card, the ethnic card, the woman card. And there are plenty of people who have gotten removed from their commission positions because of something that they've said. It has nothing to do with her skin color, has nothing to do with her being a woman, it has nothing to do with her being Muslim, it has nothing to do with any of that. It has to do with the fact that she compared the United States to Hamas. That's a problem. And if she feels that way about the United States, she shouldn't be a sitting congresswoman, in my opinion.
Yeah, Ford, your thoughts?
Well, I agree with Melanie here. Look, Omar's comments weren't a mistake. They were deliberate. In fact, they'll happen again. In fact, she has an entire pattern of making anti-American and anti-Israeli comments. Here's the problem that Speaker Pelosi has woken up to, and that is she is a minority in her own caucus that she leads. This sort of critical race theory, anti-American sentiment is large in her caucus. And what's even crazier about it is that, you know, the media try to sweep this under the rug and pretend like there's no battle within the Democratic Party. Of course there's a battle within the Democratic Party. The problem is that those Democrats that hold the traditional norms about America are basically evaporating.
Yeah, it's interesting, Jessica. I know you're kind of a party expert and have worked with a lot. And by the way, I thought your dogs were going to be the ones to make noise today. But because I know that they must be standing by somewhere. This is a case where their speaking out actually hurts the Democratic Party, doesn't it? Because the Democratic Party becomes more and more associated with that crazy squad.
Absolutely, Bob. And, you know, Speaker Pelosi and moderate Democrats having to play defense, it's a bad day for them. Bottom line, they're eating their own, and having to just fight within themselves is a problem for the Dems.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi had this to say. Work with me here, folks, about the controversy regarding Ilhan Omar, drawing false equivalencies between democracies like the U.S. and Israel and groups that engage in terrorism like Hamas and the Taliban, foments prejudice and undermines progress toward a future of peace and security for all. Your thoughts on that, Melanie?
I think that I feel like she's trying to make excuses for her congresswoman, and it's a fundamental problem. She needs to not do that.
Yeah, here. Also want to get your take for it on Congresswoman AOC, her tweet as she came to Omar's defense. She tweeted, Ilhan Omar's comments still causing tension on Capitol Hill. Pretty sick and tired of the constant vilification, intentional mischaracterization, and public targeting of Ilhan Omar coming from our caucus. They have no concept for the danger they put her in by skipping private conversations and leaping to fueling targeted news cycles around her. Wow.
The comments weren't mischaracterized. Let me bring it back again. Ilhan Omar has had a pattern of doing this even before she became a congresswoman. And I think this is what's so amazing. If you look at Omar overall, here's someone who's a Somali refugee who comes to this country and becomes a member of Congress and continues to trash this country endlessly. At some point, you have to wake up.
Yeah, here's what gets me, Allison, is how they play victim all the time. Victim, yeah. Poor me. They come out and attack it verbally and then play victim when somebody actually responds.
Oh yeah, we saw it all over the weekend with the tweets, right? Because she's Muslim, because she's a woman. This has nothing to do with it. It's because of what she tweeted. And as Ford said, she's done this before, and she's probably going to do it again. She's not being held accountable. Plenty of people, plenty of, on the Republican side, if you did this, I mean, can you imagine? They would absolutely immediately take her off that committee. Do you think she's going to be taken off the committee right now? Is she a risk? That's the number one question, and they're just ignoring it.
What about that, Melanie? She's on the Foreign Services Committee. I'm guessing she has access to certain classified information.
I'm sure that she does, and she absolutely is a risk. And she, in my opinion, quite frankly, not to be too dramatic, but she is an enemy of the country. She constantly makes that known by things like what she tweeted the other day. So, how she refers to 9/11. Some people did something. That's an absolute disgrace, and she continues to do it. And I don't know. I don't understand how she keeps getting reelected, quite frankly.
Oh, well, there's a different question that I see Ford smiling on. Do you want to address that?
Well, no, what I was going to say, though, to Melanie makes a great point. How does she continue to get elected? And I think she continues to get elected by basically hiding behind critical race theory in terms of talking about victims and oppressed. And in her district, I believe that she has a heavily Somali refugee district. And we all know that if you want to get into Congress, all you have to do is win your primary when you're in a deep blue Democratic district like Omar is. And voila, you can continue coming back to Washington saying hateful things about the very country that has given you an opportunity of a lifetime.
All right, coming up, here's a question. Is apple pie racist? Yes, it's a thing. Cancel culture goes after an American favorite. We'll explain on American Agenda next.